You guys have to forgive me. I'm having to shoot this video in my closet. We have some people over, and I came upstairs right quick to go ahead and shoot this video. I had actually forgotten to do it. Meant to do it a little bit earlier, but got a little busy. Okay, so here we go. Hello, guys. I wanted to make a video to express how I felt about Philando Castile, the injustice that him and his family just got brought down on them, and to be perfectly honest with you, I knew it was going to work out like that. It's, you know, it's good to be shocked every now and then and to be wrong. I know a long time ago, I think maybe I've just only expressed those thoughts in post on social media that I felt like the officer would get off. I don't think I ever wrote a blog, and I don't think I ever expressed that in a video. But I think I know definitely I have expressed such thoughts in other videos about other murders by police officers. And unfortunately, all except a couple, they got off. And this is bad, because this guy, Philando Castile, he did everything you're supposed to do. Now, I'm a gun owner, and I've been a gun owner all my life, and I served in law enforcement for 8 years. So I know what it's like on both sides. I don't quite know what it's like to be so fearful like all of these other cops who are shooting people over a little or nothing. And to be honest with you, I don't recall working around so many people who were so fearful of everything. But then again, most of the cops I worked around, they were black, some were Latino, and a few were white. So not necessarily trying to say black people are braver than white people. I'm just telling you my experience. And I don't recall anybody being that jittery and that jumpy. But the guy, he did everything he was supposed to do. He was perfectly calm. He told the officer he had a weapon. He did what the officer told him to do, and actually got shot because he did what the officer told him to do. Now, it makes you wonder, damn, if these cops are that scared of black men, you have to wonder, do you come out better just being prepared to take them down? You know, I mean, can you drop your guard? You like to think you can. And not, you just kind of relax your mind when they pull you over. Okay, it's a police officer. As long as I'm courteous and respectful, speak very articulately, and, you know, just, you know, cooperate. Do everything to keep everything calm. Everything should be okay. And in a world that is not bizarre world, yeah, that should pretty much work. But it hasn't. And I'm going to be straight with you. It has nothing to do with how you act. These people know what they want to do from the moment they pull you over. We have people who have badges who are murderers. They're psychopaths. And they have guns. They have badges. And what makes it so bad, you know, right about now, I think all black people need to get some kind of tax break when it comes to that part of our taxes that go to paying for police departments. We don't need to pay taxes in places like that, especially places that have, because some places do have high percentages of police brutality. And a lot of times their policemen's actions are wrong. And I think that if black people can use those numbers to prove that they live in that sort of environment, they should get a tax break. They should not, none of their tax dollars should have to go towards paying for a police department that insists that they're going to keep a boot up their ass. So the harsh reality is this. Everybody's walking around talking about Russia. Fuck Russia. I don't give a damn about Russia. Russia's been spying on us. We've been spying on Russia. China's been spying on Russia. Russia's been spying on China. Israel's been spying on us. We just got caught spying on all of our friends, recording their phone calls. We were spying on Brazil. Brazil is no threat to us. We were spying on Brazil. We were spying on Germany. So I don't care about that. All I know is this. And I don't even care about ISIS, because here's the fact. According to the numbers, and you do your own research, you know, and check it out for yourself if you don't believe me. Please don't believe me. Find out for yourself. But your chances of being killed by a family member is a lot higher than your chances of being killed by a terrorist. Your chances of being killed by a neighbor is a lot higher than your chances of being killed by a terrorist, any terrorist. Your chances of being killed by a husband, a wife, even a child is a lot higher than your chances of being killed by a terrorist. And these are facts. So I'm not worried about ISIS. Am I concerned? Do I think I need to turn my back on that situation? No, I don't. But right now, I'm living in a country where my chances is higher as a black man of being killed by a police officer much more than it is that I may be killed by a member of ISIS or Al-Qaeda. This is a fact. So I'm not worried about any of that. And, you know, I look at the video of Castile, and I almost wish he had been a little upset. You know, kind of, what's going on with you, officer? You know, I mean, you pulling me over and this, that, I didn't do anything wrong. You know, because then the officer wouldn't be justified in shooting them, but at least you could say, well, the officer was just a little bitch and he was scary, and a black guy woofing up just kind of scared him, and he, you know, got shaky and shot him. Okay. But when you look at Castile and how he was acting, I mean, as a black person, you just ask yourself, God damn, what do I do? You know? And obviously the officer was already scared of Castile, and then he found out Castile had a gun, and that certainly didn't help. So, man, I just, you know, I just don't know what to do as a person out here who's, number one, black, number two, black and armed, and who might have a nose like a Castile, who fits the description of a nose of a person who just robbed somebody. That is fucking ridiculous. His nose. But his nose later changed to his headlight. A busted headlight or a tail light, something like that. You know, that happened a long time ago. I believe it was a busted light. So first the officer pulled him over because of his nose. Real nose, like this. Not the nose of his car. And then later he changed the story and said, oh no, I pulled him over because of busted light. Now, normally, when we lie, as common people, people normally remember that. And when you change your story, people automatically think you're full of shit. And usually they're right because you change your story. The truth only goes one way. When you tell somebody your motive for doing something and you change it, right there, 99 times out of 100, you're lying. And usually when you're lying, it's because you know you were wrong. But anyway, I'm not going to get into too much details of the story. I'm going to put a link down in the bottom, let you guys read the story for yourself. But I just basically just wanted to basically just give my opinion on it as a black person who's armed, and just tell you that, you know, the reason I don't care about a lot of the things that some of you care about is because of shit like what happened to Castile. I don't have the luxury of caring about that. You do. Privileged people do, mostly white. And no, the coward-ass officer that shot him is not white. He's worse than white. He's worse than a white supremacist. He is a tool of white supremacy. You have a lot of people who aren't white, who come over here from foreign countries, especially if they're the country they came from was, you know, their family was impoverished. They come over here poor. A lot of times they fall for propaganda of white supremacy. And usually their parents were probably racist, probably told them bad things about black people. And usually the first thing these people do when they come over here is they try to assimilate with white people. You know, because they've heard so many things about black people. And they come over here and think that they're better than black people. And actually, like so many black people who also allow themselves to be used as tools of white supremacy, they are far more disgusting than an actual white supremacist. They're traitors. Nobody likes a traitor. If you had a chance to punish your enemy or a traitor, most people will punish a traitor because you know who your enemy is. The enemy is always at the gates. But the traitor was usually that person, for whatever reason, he had a pass to lurk among you. And he stabbed you in the back. So, yeah, the guy, I think he's Hispanic or whatever. I don't know. I know he's a brown guy. And I'm quite sure, I'd be willing to bet that he tried to blend right in with his white coworkers. I'm sure he did. And, like them, the black people that he worked with, if any, he probably thought he was better than them. He probably thought they were an exception to the rule. But all other niggers need to go down at the end of my gun. So just because the guy isn't white, that doesn't mean anything. He's still a tool of white supremacists. But anyway, I'm going to put that down in the description section. And for those of you who want to subscribe, please subscribe. And also, if you want to, dibble and dabble on Patreon as well. If you want to donate to Patreon and support me on Patreon, that's cool. But anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. And hopefully it will be a long time before I make another video like this again. There was a time when this was happening more often. It seemed like it was rapid fire. And it seemed like I had enough time really to talk about anything else. So hopefully that trend will continue. And anyway, talk to you guys later and have a great weekend as much as you can. Take it easy.